What is up, and welcome back to 24 Minutes of Not A24, the podcast that takes a look at movies outside of the A24 library, literally 24 minutes at a time. I'm Ethan Simi.
And I'm Ben Lawhorn. This week on the pod, we're facing our history and our greatest fears as we break down Mission Impossible Fallout.
Ethan Hunt and his IMF team, along with some familiar allies, race against time after a mission gone wrong. We are very much in the same boat here, Ben, because we are racing against time after a mission that went wrong last week on the pod. We have a punishment. We have another punishment because I guess I cheated. I guess that's on me. And I said, hey, see you later. I said bye. And I didn't say the whole tagline on the out. So
it was a resounding vote, by the way. Like, I don't know
like
if anyone 100%
said no. Punishment.
Yeah, it's like, no, yeah, that's a punishment for sure.
Yeah, it was hardcore. So, okay, here's what we're going to do. Because we didn't make it in 24 minutes last week, we do have a punishment this week that eats into our 24 minutes. So will you bring up the wheel, Ben, so we can get this punishment going, the pinwheel of punishment here.
Let's make it happen.
It's a little bit different from last week. We're kind of figuring this out as we go. We've got essentially two punishments here. We've got hot sauce. We have an incredible 10-piece hot sauce collection that ranges from 1 to 10, with 10 being like astronomically ghost pepper hot. And I really hope that's not the way we go. Oof. Or we take 2 shots of alcohol. So essentially, in theory, this pod gets progressively more out of hand the more alcohol we consume. Spin the wheel, Ben. Let's fucking get punished.
See what happens. Here we go. Here we go.
Man. I'm
Red
so
hot
nervous.
Sauce. Ooh. Okay.
What do we got?
We're going with hot sauce. Well, now I got to pull up the other wheel.
Shoot. Okay.
I've
got my hot sauce. For those of you watching, this is the hot sauce challenge here.
Bring up the other window here.
Okay.
Share this.
Okay. Let's do this thing.
Well, I got to find it. This is a...
What did we get? We got 6 last time? I feel like we were like middle of the road.
We were in the middle. Yeah, I think we got 6, maybe 5 or 6. So here we go. You ready?
Oh, I'm born ready. Let's go.
Let's see.
I just want to say before we take our hot sauce, Mission Impossible Fallout fucking rules. Are you kidding me? Oh, we are so fucked, man.
You gotta be kidding me. Oh my God.
Okay, we're eating into our time, so we need to get this show on the road. I just opened the container and it smells hot. So I just want the listeners and the watchers to know this is terrible. This is my worst nightmare.
Tongue scraper, ghost pepper, hot sauce.
What's the Scoville? Do you have the Scoville up? Because it is like astronomically high. I know it says it.
11,300 on the Scoville scale.
I feel like that's a lot. I feel like that's a ton.
I think that is, yeah.
What if I can't get it open? How does that?
How do you feel about that? For 20
that?
minutes and then just like, well, all right, didn't work out. So.
Oh shit! I opened it. Damn it. Okay, so Mission Impossible Fallout, absolutely incredible movie. It's the last one that we're covering before the big guns. Before we do Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Yeah.
Okay, Ben, are you ready? Number 10.
Am I ready?
The tongue scraper, ghost pepper. I'm going to be truthful with you. I'm not going to do that much. Like, I'm not going in with a spoonful here. This has to be, like, I have to survive. You know what I mean?
You have to do half a spoon?
I just did like I don't know if you can see, like, I did like a dollop, right? Like, just maybe 2 seconds worth. Gotta hedge my bets here, man. You know, we got a podcast to do. I can't be not talking. I'm really nervous. I don't do hot sauce very well. Are you ready?
I guess so. There's mine.
Okay.
Cheers.
Bottoms up, Ben. Cheers. God damn it. Wow. That's it's not subtle. Oh man, it's in my nose. Oh. Okay. Mission I don't know if I can carry on. I think I'm crying. Can you see how glossy my eyes are? Okay. Yeah. So Mission Impossible Fallout is an incredible flick. It came out in 2018. Okay, it came out in 2018, 3 years after Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Second one directed by Christopher McQuarrie. I feel like my right nostril is about ready to burn. Like, I feel like it's going to fire off. Stars all of our returning all-stars. We've got Tom Cruise, Ving Rhames, and Simon Pegg, along with some new other returning. We got returning faces: Rebecca Ferguson, Sean Harris, Michelle Monaghan, and Alec Baldwin. Incredible. And then some new faces. We've got Henry Cavill, Angela Bassett, Vanessa Kirby. Mission Impossible Fallout fucking rules, Ben. What do you got to say?
Listen, I put it in my Letterboxd review. Oh fuck! Hiccups the whole time. Henry Cavill is the best thing that happened in the Mission Impossible franchise since Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yes, co-sign. Yes,
he was awesome. I remember listening to the behind the scenes of this movie. And Christopher McQuarrie, was getting asked by a lot of like people, like, why'd you give him the mustache? You made him look evil, whatever. It's like, it's not a secret. Like, he's just a bad guy from the beginning. And like, let's just let people know that he's not like a good person, and he's not, but oh, fuck. But he's so good. There's so much good payoff here about how like they talk about they're doing the mask things. Like people really fall for that, and then
incredible.
He literally falls for it later on in just like the best way. Like his fucking cocking the arms, like loading up his arms for the
peak
fight.
Cinema moment forever. He just cocks them like they're a gun, and it's just like fucking it's on. Like,
do the halo jump and he passes out and then he lands, and he was like, oh, should have had your oxygen or whatever. Like he's so good at being douchey in this.
He's an ass, yeah.
Like it really goes off the rails, even for a Mission Impossible movie at the end, like with the helicopters and shit. But Henry Cavill is fantastic in this, and it's cool to have someone that like, obviously, like I know just a fist fight could take Tom Cruise, but Tom Cruise, like Ethan Hunt has like the mental capacity to kind of like outthink him on a couple things, so it feels like it's an even fight. I can say objectively, I'm aware that this is the best Mission Impossible movie. Okay. My favorite is Ghost Protocol, and I think it will always be Ghost Protocol because it has to do with like how I saw it and all that kind of stuff. But objectively, standing back, like this is the best one. We have like some of the coolest stunts. We have some of the best cinematography. McQuarrie is like really in his bag with Tom Cruise, with this character and like what he can do. And then obviously like bringing Sean Harris back was a great call. Same with Rebecca Ferguson. Michelle Monaghan showing up is like just like the best surprise there at the end. I loved it so much. So I was super happy to rewatch this movie. I love this movie. I have such an affinity for Ghost Protocol and for Philip Seymour Hoffman that those two will always be my 1 and 2. But this is like the best Mission Impossible movie there is.
Sure. Yeah. I co-sign with all of that. I love the fact that it was a essentially continuation of what Rogue Nation was, right? In terms of storyline, in terms of other people. Don't lick your lips. I licked my lips and that was a bad idea. So keep that tongue inside your mouth. This is tough. Yeah. I love obviously the introduction of Henry Cavill. I really enjoyed seeing Alec Baldwin back. Like that was one of my highlights of Rogue Nation was like, cool, we're getting like a political thriller now with all of this that's happening. It does absolutely, just like for me personally, like you said, like it is objectively the best Mission Impossible movie, but like the helicopters, like it just felt a little much to me, like personally, where it's just like, okay, I understand how good this is, but like, come on, we're flying choppers now, like really, But I will say, Tom Cruise saying, whatever he says, like hold this for me, won't you? And then he drops the bag and then it misses the helicopter. Pretty good stuff. Yeah, really funny, really great. Cast chemistry again, and I definitely think that Sean Harris as the villain is that very close second to Philip Seymour Hoffman. Like they nailed it with the syndicate and all of that, and exactly like who Lane is. And I love the kind of subplot that we get about Lark. And like, there's this guy on the inside who knows everything. We're going to convince you that it's Ethan Hunt. We know it's not. And we're trying to believe that it's not. And then like we get twisted all sorts of ways. I thought it was great. Love seeing the mask back. Really fun stuff. Let's do our 3 true cinema moments, because ain't no fucking way I'm taking another punishment on the next pod.
No way.
Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go?
I'll go first. My favorite scene, not my favorite, but this one even like got me in the theaters, and even knowing what was going to happen, it still got me this time, where the suspense was there. And it's the interrogation scene in the hospital.
Incredible.
With the dude, and they're like, we need the passcode. We want to know what's happening. And the guy's like, well, it doesn't matter. We have Wolf Blitzer on TV, like
incredible Wolf Blitzer cameo, by the way.
Oh yeah, it was so good.
Real good.
So we get him talking about like the fact that the bombs detonated, they destroyed I forget exactly where, but 3 cities like in Europe or whatever. And the bad whatever guy is like in the hospital bed, and they need to get access to his phone to get all the information because they just want to know what's happening. And the guy's like, well, if you get him to read like our manifesto on air so that everyone knows who did this and why they're responsible, like you can have access to my phone because it won't matter because everything's done. But we get stuff beforehand where Ethan's freaking out and you see him like, no, he's like,
Luther has to like hold him back.
Yeah. He's like, I don't give a shit. Like this guy, I'm going to kill this guy with my bare hands. And it is so intense. Like it is played so sincerely and so real. And again, like the first time I saw this in theaters, I was like, holy shit. Like they lost. Like like, I don't know what's going to happen for the next 2 hours, but like they blew it. And that's crazy to think about because that hardly ever happens. We hadn't really seen that since the first movie, where like it starts out with them kind of losing. Yeah. Like I'm losing my fucking mind with these hiccups. So they get access.
This is why
to the
people
phone.
should subscribe to our Patreon. This is good content right here.
So they get access to the phone, and then Ethan Hunt's like, "Did we get it?" It's like, "We got it." And then like the walls
Drop
just like
the
fall
fucking
down,
mic.
And Wolf Blitzer comes over, and then you find out it's Simon Pegg in a mask. It's like,
oh
what the
my
fuck? And
God.
like again, the first time I saw this, I was as shocked as the dude in the bed. I was like, wait, this wasn't real. Like this was all a ruse to get it. And it still worked out so well watching it for the second time. It's like, oh, this like it is so fucking smart. And of course, like they could get Wolf Blitzer if they needed to, but they have the mask. Like they don't need him. They have everything they need, and it played perfectly. And even on a rewatch, I was just like so happy. Like this is such a great way to really kick off this movie.
I am so jealous that you got to see this in a theater. I don't give a fuck. This is what I'm taking as well. This is my first true cinema moment because I wrote it down in all caps on my notes, and I think I sent you a voice message, and I was folding laundry and I was watching this movie, and the walls drop, and I fucking threw the clothes out of my hand, and I had to pace my house. I was like fist pumping in the air, and I was like, they fucking did it. They did it again. Like,
you couldn't even text me. You voice messaged me. Like, there's no way you were typing it all out. I loved it so much.
I just like, there are few things in movies that like make me that jacked, and that was one of them where it's just like, I know if I go watch that tonight, I'm going to feel the same thing where I'm just like, they fucking did it. Like, I cannot believe it. They pulled the wool over this guy's eyes, and they homaged to the first film, doing the interrogation scene to start. And like, I just thought it was genius. I thought it worked on every single level. I adore that scene. That is also my first pick.
What's your second one? I don't want us to like repeat them all because I have like 5 on here. So I want to make sure we talk about everything.
That's fair. Okay. So my second pick is going to be the diversion, but the kind of the imagination or the play out of the diversion before it actually happens. This essentially is when they're like, look, you have to essentially kill all these cops. Like, and Ethan really does assume the role of like, I've killed women and children with smallpox. This is nothing to me. And I was just like, oh shit, like he's going in. This is incredible. So when we get that like idealistic kind of setup of it, it felt very, very much like Heat meets Mission Impossible. Like I felt really good about it, and it looked really sleek and cool and badass. And like Ethan Hunt is behind a mask and he just shoots someone point blank. Like, obviously this is like a dream and imagination and like a would-be scenario. So it's not legit. And I think that's why I like it so much, is because we never see that play out, but it was hard as fuck in that scene. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, it was so good. Mine probably leads into that or just after that as well. And it's the whole breakout of the Sean Harris character, where they they hit him into the river. Like Ethan pulls a switch on the prison break, like on how it's supposed to happen, and knocks the van truck into the river. That shot from inside where he's like holding his breath, and he's
so
like,
nuts.
Breathes quickly, but then like the whole Mission Impossible background stuff that's set up for like the next 10 minutes, including like the chase around the Arc de Triomphe, when he's on the motorcycles, to them getting Sean Harris out of the water. I keep calling him by his real name. I should be calling him by his character name.
Solomon Lane.
Old Solomon.
Old
Saul. But they get him in the boat, and then they have him driving around. They pass the other cops who were like looking for him on the water. Then Ethan's running from the cops on the motorcycle, and it looks like he's caught. And then he just runs into like this shrubbery thing. It's like, what the hell happened? All this kind of stuff. And then we find out that when he had called Benji to come to the Plan B area, it's like to pick him up, you know, from dropping down in the water. It's just like, oh, this was all thought out. Like they had plans A through Z ready to go, and they got what they wanted. It's just like, it's like peak Mission Impossible stuff. It's like, no matter what happens, we're going to make this work. But the motorcycle chase is cool. I would argue that like John Wick 4 utilized Arc de Triomphe better.
Yep.
But I would say like if it has some like thanks to pay to Mission Impossible Fallout, because they did a really good job utilizing that circular road there.
Yeah, that is a sick scene. That is super, super cool. Number 3 for me, you know, I've got to go with something funny. I just adore the humor in these Mission Impossible movies. And I can't, like, Mission Impossible is definitely my favorite movie franchise now. Like, I can't believe it took me this long. But I'm going to go with the scene where Ethan is trying to escape, right? So he's running through the buildings. He's chasing after Henry Cavill's character, and he's communicating with Benji. And he asks, and Benji's like, oh, you got to turn right. And he's like, right? And Benji's like, no, sorry, it's a left. I had the screen lock on. And then like a couple minutes of success, and we're running, and everything's all good. And then he's like, you got to whatever, like you got to jump or something right now. And he's like, right now? And Benji's like, oh no, sorry, I had 2D on. And I just fucking rolled. I died. Simon Pegg's delivery on some of those comedic moments are impeccable as Benji. And like, it just works. And like Ethan Hunt's response, like they have such a good chemistry back and forth. I love that scene. It's so funny to me.
It's so good. Yeah, it's like, you got to go left. He's like, right now? He's like, yes, you have to go left. He's like, what's taking you so long? He's like, I'm jumping out a window. And that's like, oh wait, I had the 2D on, and just like everyone in the office just staring at him like, what would you do? You wouldn't try to stop that person who just came and threw a chair through a window. You're like, let's let this guy go. Yeah. So seeing that whole interaction, and I talked to my partner about this while we were watching it, like, and I like that kind of callback too, because they do the same thing with the Burj Khalifa. Like, you gotta go. Like, we're at the time down. It's like, sorry, like I'm getting the fucking Burj Khalifa. Give me a second, you know? And then same, we have to like jump in that water well thing in Rogue Nation. It's like, you gotta go. It's like, okay, give me a second.
Give me a second.
We're reminded of these moments of like where he's human. You know, he's not always cool like James Bond necessarily. Like there are the moments where he's still a human being. He's like, oh shit, okay, I know I have to do this, but I have to like steel myself to get ready to go do this. And I like that kind of those moments of humanity with Ethan Hunt for sure. Man, I have like a couple, but I think I have to go with the biggest thing for me. And that's that bathroom fight. Like it is just fucking kick ass for 5 minutes. It is them getting beat up by this dude. Again, it's like Henry Cavill reloading his arms and like growing the beard in that shot. It's throwing that guy through the mirror. It's the other guys coming in and like kind of harassing them. And then obviously Rebecca Ferguson shows up, and it's like, oh, well, we needed his face to be able to make this mask. And now we don't have a face. And Henry Cavill using like the laptop to knock him
bash
out.
His head
like,
in.
It's such a good fight. It's such a good 2-on-1 fight scene, because it feels like this dude that they're after could take either of them 1-on-1, and he's still kind of holding his own in a 2-on-1 situation. So I just think it's such a wonderfully choreographed fight scene, and just kind of speaks to the line that Angela Bassett says earlier, where it's like, what did you say? Like, you use a scalpel, I prefer a hammer, like that kind of a thing. And it's like, yeah, Henry Cavill's just there to just like punch people. He's just like a brute. And I think this scene kind of allows him to show that off the best.
Yeah, I love it, because I feel like this installment particularly like calls back to several MI movies. Like we get the callback to the first one with the interrogation. We call back to MI2 at the very end when he kind of free climbs to get the detonator. We get a callback to MI3 when we have like a bathroom scene happening. Like I feel like there's a lot of homage here and a lot of respect for prior kind of editions of the movie, which I really, really like. There's obviously a ton of things to talk about. I love the emotional beats of the final 20 minutes, the final 30 minutes we get, and everything that surrounds that. I think there's a lot of good stuff. coolest way that somebody's maybe ever died, like a hook to the forehead, and then they fall off a cliff, a canyon, which is crazy. Would this fit into the A24 catalog? No, absolutely not. It's far too rigid and crazy. Ben, I'm going to vote here real quick. We're going to hold a quick quorum next week. After we see Dead Reckoning Part 1, I think we rank all of our Mission Impossible films then.
We wait? Okay.
I think we wait and we instill the new edition to see where we land. How's that?
We could do that. Yeah, that totally works. I thought if we do it this week, then we can talk about like where it maybe infiltrated. But I'm down just to like wait for next week.
We've got a few minutes. If you wanna rank now, because I know this will stir some consternation here.
It will indeed. I just recently posted this on Twitter and on Letterboxd. Mm-hmm. I've had my Mission Impossible list for a while, but we still have 3 minutes. Don't
get cocky on me, Ben. Don't think that's only 180 seconds.
That's all it is. But you know what this is? It's not mission difficult. It is Mission Impossible. So let's do it. Okay, here's my ranking, everyone. You can see it right
nice.
here.
Okay,
Letterboxd. Number 1, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Number 2, Mission Impossible 3. Number 3, Mission Impossible Fallout. Then we have classic Mission Impossible, then Rogue Nation, and then Mission Impossible 2.
That is just fucking brutal.
It's kind of crazy. I am curious to meet anybody who has Mission Impossible 2 anywhere except Last.
I've never seen anybody with it anywhere but Last.
I just can't imagine, but that's where I'm at. So yeah, 4, 3, 6, 1, 5, 2.
Wow. Okay. Well, I also posted my ranking on Twitter. I also posted it in my Substack that came out today, the day that we're recording. You can find me on Substack. The Film Bestie is what it's called. So here's my ranking. I also have it on Letterboxd as well. I use the really cool posters. Nice. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, Mission Impossible Fallout, Mission Impossible 3, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible, and then Mission Impossible 2. We are severely different, and I love it. I mean, we don't have a lot of time to get into it, but I think me, I just love the Syndicate. Like, I just think the Syndicate fucking rules, and I think it's an incredible villain aspect, and so I've got to go high. I got to put them high.
Again, like, it's kind of, I've talked about it before many times, like, especially with someone like Christopher Nolan, where it's like, even my second to last place Nolan movie is still a great movie. Like Mission Impossible Rogue Nation being in my 5th spot does not mean I think it's bad. It's still a fucking great movie. I think I have it 4 stars. You know, it's just that like everything before it is 4.5 or 5 stars. So
do you have a Mission
movies?
Do you have a single Mission Impossible entry rated at 5 stars?
Ghost Protocol and possibly 3, but definitely Ghost Protocol.
Oh, okay. That's impressive. I think I only go up to 4.5 stars. I think Rogue Nation is 4.5 and everything else is 4. Except for like MI2, which is, whatever. Like
just like Ghost Protocol's it's 5. It's 5 stars though.
Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, then I got to put Rogue Nation at 5 stars so we can have a fighting chance here or what?
I love it. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, next week on the pod, we are covering Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, the big kahuna. This is the one that we came for. This is why we started this Patreon, so we could cover this. We are both seeing it on July 10th at a fan screening, which is super exciting. It's nothing special. You can buy tickets for it, but still really cool. I can't wait, Ben. We fucking did it. Look at us.
It's going to be awesome. And then after that, we're going to be digging into the Pirates of the Caribbean, which I'm super excited about. So
I'm hyped.
17 seconds left. What are your thoughts on Mission Impossible Fallout? Let us know on Twitter or Instagram. We are at 24 minutes of A24. Also subscribe to us on YouTube. You can hit the bell, get notifications, all that stuff. Thank you so much for your support on Patreon. I am Ben Lawhorn.
And I'm Ethan Simi. It's not mission difficult. It's Mission Possible.
We did it.
We did it this time.
We did it this time. No punishment.
Yes, it feels so good.
Oh, my hiccups finally went away after like 20 minutes.
That's how much I hated the hot sauce. I was like, let's not do that again.
Oh, never again.